elections.
Yes.
And expecting different outcome. So I have always told our people, and I've told the PDP as a party, we're bringing the party back to the people. Let the people make that choice. Let no party mandarin claim that, oh, he's better than this, because the signing of the electoral bill by President Buhari, which legitimizes now the electronic transmission of results and the use of electronic machines in verification of votes and all that, makes it mandatory to parties now that only a popular person can win elections. And so if we go by the same old thing of saying, okay, I like this man, let him come and run, people will reject it at the polls. Yeah. And so it's a game changer for everybody, including the PDP. And I'm pretty certain that part of the problems we're seeing in APC now is also related to this.
The signing of the Electoral Act.
Yeah. Because the idea has always been that there are some people behind the scene who are going to say, A will go, B will not go, C will go. And people are reacting to such things. And so I'm usually not known to commend President Buhari, except in a few instances. And this is one of those instances in which I commend President Buhari for signing the bill. Because that, like I said, is a game changer. It will improve our elections in ways that we will not understand. Because if it says that, and it's in the law, accreditation is what we will use to know whether there's overvoting or not, unlike in the previous bill or act, the previous act. What it means today is that when you use the machine and accredit in a particular place, once it's done, that ends the matter. You can no longer, no matter what you do, because everything that is being done is transmitted automatically to a particular server somewhere. And so all that you need to do is apply to INEC to give you and even for those who may have been compromised in some way, they will also be well aware that, okay, accreditation was just 20, 30 people here today. And for them to now, in writing, adding up and say, oh, it's 300, not 30, it will be discredited from somewhere else. And we have put penalties now in the act for INEC officials who deliberately, distort results. So everybody will be very, very careful. At first, those who worked for INEC, child's play. This is not something that you just do and you don't care. You compromise yourself for whatever pittance you get, because the prospect of going to jail means that for the rest of your life, you're also going to lose your job as a professor in the university and all that. And I don't think that any one of them would like to lose their sinecure because of whatever happens on a particular day. So that means that the sanctity of elections will now be respected.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Abaribe, for having me in your office today. It's been an enlightening conversation.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
The tanker that exploded.
He suffered equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am.
If you no talk, dem go beat you.
Na 2,500 I dey pay.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamode Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Kindness is the word that inspired Emmy Award-winning filmmakers Kahani Cooperman and John Hoffman to make The Antidote. The documentary focuses on how American communities across the country are coming together in times of need.
My name is O'Connell. I'm Dr. O'Connell. What do you need? Anything?
I need mental health.
Dr. James O'Connell, founder of Boston Healthcare for the Homeless, goes out in the streets to treat homeless people.
I'm Russell. I work here at the college. Tell me your name again.
In Amarillo, Texas, Russell Laurie Hart, president of Amarillo College, helps underprivileged students manage their personal lives, thrive academically, and escape generational poverty. At Peter Johansson High School in Modesto, California, Sherry McIntyre teaches a class about religious tolerance and the diversity of faith in America.
We need to protect the rights of the smallest minority, because in doing that, we're protecting our own rights. We can't get too comfortable. We have to stand up for each other.
The stories go on and on.
We came up with 6 questions that completely informed our creative process, which are: how do we raise our children? How do we teach our children? How do we take care of the sick and the dying? How do we live and work together? How do we welcome the stranger? And how do we lead?
Hoffman says the film was made as a counterpoint to the growing political and social divisions in America.
Those stories are all examples of working to right these systemic wrongs that we call fundamental unkindnesses.
It's, fundamentally unkind to not have a safe place to sleep. Fundamentally unkind to not have access to health care. Racism is fundamentally unkind. Homophobia is fundamentally unkind. Sexism is fundamentally unkind.
Cooperman says that although the film was made just before the country was ensnarled in the grip of the pandemic, it is relevant today.
More relevant, perhaps, than when we even started. Certainly with COVID, it was about communities coming together.
Such as how communities in Anchorage, Alaska are welcoming African refugees, or how elderly communities in Portland, Oregon are caring for children in foster care. The filmmakers hope the documentary inspires people to reach out to one another and to feed the force of good rather than fan the flames of hatred and divisiveness. Penelope Pulu, VOA News, Washington.
Nigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on PlusTvAfrica, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event
on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
On News Now tonight, Buhari calls for unity among the APC party members, support for National Chairman Senator Abdullahi Adam. South Africans and migrants march in anti-xenophobic protest. Firefighters battle burning liver fuel depot hit by missiles. Good evening. I am Maureen Menongwe-Zigwe, and this is the News Now. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on members of the All Progressive Congress, the APC, to be united and also support the newly sworn-in leadership of the party.
Buhari said the convention came at a crucial time when the party was preparing for another round of general election. Also, the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, lauded the founding members of the party for forming a political party that dislodged the People's Democratic Party, PDP, after 16 years in power.
This convention is coming at a crucial time when we prepare for another round of general election. Therefore, the need to remain strong and be united for the party to exploit the rich abundant potentials at its disposal cannot be overemphasized. We appreciate the right to hold different opinions and aspirations. However, such differences must not be to the detriment of the party.
Over 4 million beneficiaries of our government empowerment and enterprise program, the market money, trader money, farmer money. Our private sector has, despite constraints, continued to do wonders. Only a few days ago, Mr. President commissioned one of the largest fertilizer plants in Africa and one of the largest in the world. And in a few months, the largest single-line refinery in the world will become operational.
Senate President Ahmed Lawal and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, lauded the President for his role in ensuring executive-legislature harmony. They also hailed the President's commitment to the implementation and completion of projects across the 6 geopolitical zones, and particularly the second Niger Bridge in the southeast.
To construct the second Niger Bridge, they broke the ground and they ran away. They came back, broke the ground for the second time, and ran away. Never did anything. That time, they were pushed out of office. We promised you only once, and we have almost achieved it. By the grace of God, before the end of this year, Mr. President will go and commission the second Niger Bridge. You should know where your bread is buttered and where your tea will have the milk and the sugar.
All things being equal, we intend to revisit the issue of women inclusion in our constitution students. We must do this because ours is a party of inclusion. This is the promise of the progressive movement, and we have kept the faith. As we have gathered here today from across the regions of our country, representing every religion, tribe, and gender, I urge you, fellow progressives, to adopt this motto of nation building a joint task and act accordingly.
The National Chairman, APC Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, May Malabuni, highlighted the achievements of the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee.
Let me assure those you whose defections are being challenged in the courts that you have nothing to fear. Your defections did not contravene any law. You will, by the grace of God, emerge successful and victorious in the superior courts at the end of these litigations. Your wise decision to join APC along with millions of your supporters shall never be in vain.
Senator Abdullahi Adamu emerged as the national chairman of the party after he was endorsed by consensus by delegates at the convention along with other new National Executive Council members, and this is coming about a year and 9 months after the Adams-Oshiomhole-led National Working Committee, NWC, was sacked. Senator Adamu went into the election as a consensus candidate following the withdrawal of other aspirants from the contest.
On behalf of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we wish to express our sincere appreciation to the leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress for finding our institution worthy of being given by consensus. So we have allowed one of our members to be a contestant for the office of the National Chairman of Nigeria.
Joining us on the news is Biodun Streets Played Out.
Yes, what we've seen clearly, it's the direction in which APC chose to pick its own election officials. They are quite aware of many problems the party has faced and is still facing, and realize that there's no way with all the factions in different states, they will go into an election, to elect the party operatives without having some form of consensus candidates. If they have chosen a direct election or indirect election, that will have created more problems for the party. So I must commend the president. He's been able to steer the party clearly in this direction, since the constitution, the Electoral Act provides for consensus candidates. So therefore, they have done very well to manage their internal crisis, and that is one part of it. The other part is if you look at the way all the candidates emerge and where they are from clearly shows that there are some states that are probably excluded, or some zones, even in the South, from bidding for the presidency. You cannot hold certain posts and say, for instance, chairman of the party, and say you want to come from the North again, the presidential candidate. That's not going to happen. I see Southwest better, placed, to provide only more likely the candidates from Southwest will emerge as presidential candidates. That is what has played out. It has reflected clearly in the representation in terms of those who were elected through consensual arrangement. It is clear that more likely than not, Southwest is better placed, to provide the next presidential candidate. Your guess is as good as mine on who probably would emerge. But the fact is, they have used the convention to resolve, even though it's on party officials, they have also used it as an indicator, as a pointer to where the presidential candidate is likely going to emerge. That is what I've seen with this convention. All right,
well, Senator Abdullahi Adamu and other key national leaders were selected based on consensus. Well, Rotimi Amici, who is one of them, one of the key members of the party, says that this will strengthen the party. What are your thoughts concerning it? Do you see this strengthening the party?
Many people thought, also looked at some other factors. Who is better placed, to manage the situation in a way that they'll be able to retain, the APC will be able to retain the rulership of the country. They have put all these factors into consideration. There were some of them who were not happy about withdrawing, but they eventually withdrew because the party settled for a consensual arrangement. And therefore, they can be seen to be anti that arrangement. And that is why some of them pulled out. But some were genuinely convinced that their candidate would be better placed if they allowed, the arrangement, the political arrangement put in place to go through. It does not mean that everybody will be happy, those who pulled out, who failed to pull out. But I can bet you some more trading would have happened behind the scenes. Those who would be ministers, promise certain portfolios and all that, chairman of this or that. All this would have happened behind the scene if APC wins the next election. So this is probably why you can see that even though there's some rancor, there's some minor skirmishes here and there, but given the scale of the problem APC was faced with, I would regard this convention as a success on their part. They've been able to put a lead on some of the boiling pots in a way that they manage it successfully.
Talking about some of the boiling points, what are the tasks ahead of this new chairman? What should his main thrust be?
The new chairman is faced with a horrendous task. I don't envy Adam because in the first instance, you still have the crisis in the states. Those crises are yet to go. You also have some who will leave the convention totally dissatisfied with what is going on. The fact that they had to pull out, whether compelled or pressured or one way or the other, they had to pull out. They probably won't be happy about it. And then the scheming towards who will emerge as the next presidential candidate with the view to be better placed. Now, the new chairman, Adamu, has a major task on his lap. How is he going to reconcile all the party top-notch in different states of the federation with grievances? There are some of them who are implacable, they're like implacable foes in inverted commas, who they have sworn heaven and heart to ensure that the sitting governor will not come in or they will replace the sitting governor. And how do you placate those people? And they have sizable following in their states. You also have a second set of people who are people jostling to either be vice president. They don't mind if the South does not produce the president. And now realizing that their hope has been dashed by this convention, that certainly the president is coming from the South. You have also people within the North who feels one way or the other that they should have been allowed. It should have been kept free and open like what the PDP did. So Adamo has a task on his hand to unite the party, before the presidential aspirant election. Otherwise, the party will face a major problem. Hopefully, one is hoping that there won't be people leaving the party for some other parties because of their failed aspirations. But so far, they have managed the whole thing very well. What even after having nominated the presidential candidate.
Yeah, now that you've mentioned the presidential candidacy, the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has declared for that seat. How does that hit you?
Oh yeah, Wike is right. To be frank with you, don't forget that Wike was one of the 17 Southern governors that met in Asaba, Delta State, that declared that the next presidential candidate, the next president must come from the South. And they meant well. They made that declaration at a point in time when the country was facing major challenges left and right, not only from bandits, from Boko Haram, you have the Igbo problem, you have the Kanu's problem here and there. So they felt that the best way to unite the country is to give everybody a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership, a sense of being stakeholders in their own economy, and into his own beliefs. And I fancy him for that. He's a fighter, and he's been making the point very clear that no matter whose us is God, representation, geographical representation, not party representation. And that is the point which PK is trying to make. And I think he's correct. He's right to do that. It's in line with the spirit of the agreement made and the declaration made, at Asaba by the 17 governors.
Politics should majorly be a political, a popularity contest, Let's feel the pulse of the people, the electorate themselves. How prepared would you say Nigerians are for this coming election? How prepared are Nigerians? Do you see Nigerians coming out in mass? Do you see them seeing this as a game changer for the country?
Yes, democracy is a game of numbers, and it's also a game of involvement, because you can have low turnout in an election, skewing the results of that election and depriving it of the legitimacy that it's supposed to have. What some people will term as democratic deficit. But I think we have had that in the past, but I think it's going to change now for two reasons. One, there's an increasing consciousness amongst the youth in the country that they need to engage with the political process, with a view to be able to change and direct, events, that shape events, that will affect their lives. You have that one angle. The second angle is the transmission of results by electronic means. In the past, people believe that the results will just be written, their votes won't count and all that, and you have so many people totally disengaged with the political process. But now, with the approval of the electronic transmission of results, apart from the gains that INEC will make in terms of reducing its costs, in transmitting and engaging with the process, we probably will see, my own projection, the highest number of Nigerians that will engage with the political process, the electoral process, higher than probably 1979. That is likely going to happen in percentage terms, because the gender sector, in terms of representation, it's Nigerian politics is...
Shomi is a political analyst who's joined us to take a look at the convention just recently held by the All Progressive Congress. And moving forward now, the All Progressive Congress recently held its national convention where the party selected a new involved. The selection of executives for the party took a different twist this time around, as the process was mostly done by consensus. Yola Omisore Oshun as National Secretary, Festus Fonta Plateau as Deputy National Secretary, amongst others. Extended hand of friendship to the aspirants who withdrew from the race, saying they would succeed in God's time. Dr. Beta Edu from Cross River State has emerged as the youngest female to become the national women leader of the All Progressive Congress. Edu was born on October 27th of 1986. She emerged alongside 76 other national officials at the 2022 National Convention of the APC. In the keenly contested election, she scored 2,662 votes to defeat her closest rival, Helen Boko, who polled 117. Ahead the general election, Dr. Edu has the big mandate of leading from the front and rallying women to get more involved in party politics. Reacting to her victory at the polls, she thanked delegates from all the states, party leaders from Cross River, especially Governor Ben Ayade, for the support and confidence in her. She promised to bring women together and ensure their unity as they trudge on to the next level. Democratic Party caucus in Adamawa State House of Assembly has passed vote of confidence on Governor Amadou Umaru Fintiri's administration for various transformation projects executed in 3 years. The lawmakers say they were impressed with giant stride of Fintiri's administration, citing payment of WAEC and NECO fees and feeding of school children, aside numerous capital projects executed across the state. The Speaker, Honorable Aminu Iya Abbas, said the governor achievement compelled 14 PDP members in this House to pledge buying nomination and expression of interest forms of the PDP for Governor Fintiri. The Speaker of the Assembly, while briefing newsmen in his office, said the members have contributed 21 million naira to purchase the form for Governor Fintiri.
Our major project that people are not seeing, paying for the school fees, why feeding students. These are things that goes to the masses direct. Not everybody comes to Yola, not everybody apply on the road we are constructing, but every citizen of Adamawa State benefit from the school fees payment, for the lack of payment of school fees and the feeding of their own words in schools. I mean, this is a very big tax, of which the State Assembly is trying to come up with a law. We have said time without number. They will come up with law that after this administration, it will become mandatory for every governor that comes to pay for students' school fees and then pay for their feeding and whatever in the schools. We are coming with the law and we'll come out with the law, and this will be the best thing that will give Adamawa State people. Members of the People's Democratic Party extraction, PDP, in the House have now contributed the sum of 21 million naira for the purchase of the expression of interest and the measure form for His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State.
The former Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Sahid Tahir, and his supporters have defected from the All Progressive Congress to the new Nigeria People's Party, the NNPP. He cited marginalization as his reason for defection. Speaking shortly after his emergence as the party state chairman, Phineas Elisha said the party has registered over 560,000 membership within a short time and is ready to take the nation out of the present security challenges.
New Nigeria People's Party, have those ideas, rescuing democracy, saving this country, and we feel we're the only party that can do that. APC has failed, you know it, you can hear them, they are wrangling, they are fighting, governors are fighting Mr. President, they have no leadership of the party.
Right now over the state we have over 300,000 members, and still people are registering, people are coming in, and I'm assuring you, after the convention in APC, you will see changes again in this state. This will surely tell you that we are going to form a government 2023 without even explaining.
Abba Kabir Yusuf, popularly known as Abba Gida Gida, was in 2018. And former Rivers State Governor Chibuike Rotimi Amechi has admitted that he is hesitant to return to his home state, Rivers. Amechi stated this during an interview when asked whether he would return to Rivers. He said that this is due to the fact that the country's leadership, though in the context of a civil democratic dispensation, leaves much to be desired. Jega stated this during the pre-Ramadan lecture organized by the University of Lagos Muslim alumni with the theme Leadership Recruitment, the Missing Anchor in Our National Development. Jega, who was chairman of the occasion, said Nigerian leaders lacked, quote, a sustainable vision for the country's development, selfless in elective public leadership positions, competence and capacity to lead a country in the 21st century. End of quote. He stressed that a leadership recruitment process is central to entrenching good governance and resolving the poor governance. Pensioners in southwestern Nigeria
that does not give our children jobs, employment. What is progressive and democratic in a government that does not give us the better things of life, like electricity, good roads, even petrol, and the rest of that. And as such, the meeting has decided that pensioners in the Southwest should not vote governors and governments that are owing them their entitlement.
A non-governmental organization promoting democracy, governance and development in Africa, Yiaga Africa, has described the federal government as trader money inducement. A board member of the organization, Ezenwa Nwagwu, who spoke with journalists in Ekiti State ahead of the governorship election